This is a Trump-Pence divide here. Where are we, if we're looking through, if we want to call it, the Republican establishment versus the Trumpy candidates, as we get deeper into the primary season? Who's winning?
Well, so far, Trump's winning.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, the channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. That right there, folks, is what I call the continued ascendance of Ultra MAGA. Many people on Twitter are calling it Rage Against the Machine, the real Rage Against the Machine, not the crusty communist boomer rock band, but actually standing up to the establishment and changing the status quo. And folks, that's exactly what happened last night, as nearly every single Trump-endorsed candidate won their primary. And really, what an eventful night it was. Let's use another meme to describe it.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie. They had us. We weren't defeated, but they had us. But it took guts, it took an attitude. That's all it takes. That's all it takes to be successful, is an attitude.
They had us in the first half, not gonna lie, but we turned it around, and the best part, it takes attitude to win. Absolutely true. And that's exactly what's going on right now in the battle versus establishment Republican and Trumpian style candidate. Well, folks, I think it's time for the establishment to admit defeat, because Donald Trump's track record is in the high 90s, possibly even close to 98%. Trump-backed candidates don't lose. It's a different breed of conservative politician. Conservatives who aren't playing games with the media. Conservatives who aren't bending and twisting in an effort to get recognition from a mainstream media group or a leftist group that hates them and hates their voters. I mean, what's the point? A new breed of Republican, a new conservative age of candidates that aren't apologizing to anyone. Candidates that are standing up for America First nationalist values and policies, and most importantly, standing up for the people and their constituents. It is an absolutely beautiful thing. And folks, what we are seeing in action is the swamp being drained. Let's celebrate this, friends. We got some stuff to cover, so let's roll the tape. Well, folks, let's start off with Kari Lake. Obviously, that was the most important race. The mainstream media hit pieces on Kari Lake were never ending. The word electability kept popping up, that she's unelectable, she's too extreme. Well, of course, we had a very different prediction, very much in line with the meme that I played earlier. You need an attitude to win, and man, does Kari Lake have an attitude. Not in a bad way, in a good way. She's a fighter, says it like it is, doesn't play no games with the media or tiptoeing around certain issues, avoiding hard topics or defining certain concepts to craft some very carefully calculated and choreographed political image. Kari Lake is Kari Lake. And at first it was looking real bad. Somehow Karen Taylor Robson outperforming the polling average by 20 percentage points, maintaining a 10% lead over Kari Lake for much of the evening. Of course, political grifter Meghan McCain was celebrating like none other in this now deleted tweet. Wow, Lake is getting crushed so far, incredible. Everybody better turn into primetime if this lunatic loses, because she's gonna go absolutely insane on live TV. Like one for the books, makes Trump look normal insane. But Meghan, I think it might be time to get off Twitter and go back to your grift on The View.
My father, my father, my father's my father.
I mean,
my father, 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 my father.
Meghan McCain's the non-criminal version of Hunter Biden. But what Meghan McCain needs to learn is that nobody cares about your sanctimonious crap, because despite Kari Lake trailing by 10 percentage points for most of the night, as results kept pouring in, Kari Lake started to win, and right now with 80% of the vote counted. Of course, we'll have to see with the rest of the votes being counted. Extremely frustrating that the state of Arizona still doesn't know how to conduct a damn election. But anyways, overcoming a 10-point deficit and turning this race around, Kari Lake has shut up all the naysayers, all the establishment Republicans who poured hundreds of thousands of dollars into her primary opponent, claiming that she was unelectable. Well, it turns out that actually your candidate, who was propped up by the establishment, is the one that is in fact unelectable. This ultra MAGA movement continues to prove one thing, that it's an organic grassroots movement that doesn't need no establishment support. It's natural. And the most important people, the people, are willing to stand and wait in line all night to make sure their ballot is cast. That, I think, was the difference, folks. Karen Robson doing well in the early stages, but those Kari Lake voters stayed in line all night, despite the totally dysfunctional election process in the state of Arizona, and they got the job done, getting the ultra MAGA America First candidate across the line. At least that's what it's looking like now. We'll have to see the last 20%, but many people are confident enough to call this election. And folks, it's across the board. Blake Masters, another very important Trump candidate, running for the Senate in the state of Arizona, taking the primary. In the very important state of Michigan, Trump-endorsed Tudor Dixon winning by an astonishing nearly 20 percentage points. John Gibbs winning the 3rd District Republican primary against Peter Mayer, or Peter Meyer, whatever you want to call him. Trump impeachment now election loser Peter Meyer. And just across the board, Trump candidates won. And honestly, I think I should really reinforce the fact that it's a little bit insulting to call them Trump candidates and claim that they won purely because of Trump's endorsement. That's not at all what I'm trying to say here. I think it's less that Trump candidates won and more that America First candidates won. The neocon Bush-Cheney establishment of old is done. It's over. And every single election cycle that passes, more and more of these rhino neocon fossils and new age neocons drop like flies, one after another, like dominoes. And you know the saying of this group isn't like the old group, or this generation isn't like the last generation. Usually that takes a pretty long time to materialize. But over the last 6 years, and 6 years alone, the Republican Party is a completely different party. It's not the same. I mean, we're talking about an incredible transformation. And this right here, folks, is what the Democrats are scared of. They've been dealing with a docile, easy to manipulate Republican establishment for decades. And all of a sudden, the new image of the Republican Party is a party that fights, a party that stands up for the right thing for their constituents, for America, a party that fully embraces the title or the label of Ultra MAGA. And like I said in a previous video last week, Democrats, I believe, are making a serious political miscalculation. Through their research, they've convinced themselves that the weakness of the Republican Party currently is Donald Trump and anyone who can be associated with the term MAGA or America First. Well, if that was the case, I don't think Donald Trump would have won in 2016 and done so incredibly well in 2020, despite the circumstance, as well as pick up seats in the House races, and now leading into 2022, Ultra MAGA candidates dominating across the board. I think Democrats are funding their own demise by enabling America First candidates, and once these political fighters take center stage and start to finally produce a counteroffensive to the Democrat machine, I think the Democrat establishment is going to be in for a very serious surprise. An absolutely stellar night, folks. Ultra MAGA takes the day, and a new conservative age is rising, just like Dr. Steve Turley always says. But of course, that's what I got for you guys in this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, please make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe if you're up for it. I'm gonna get back to work. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.